Okay, students, on this clip, we're going to go over some examples on how to graph angles in standard position, indicate a quadrant of the terminal slide, and also how to find the reference angle, okay? All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the first two examples. Um, in number 1 and 2, we're supposed to draw the angle with a given measure in standard position, state the quadrant of the terminal slide, and then find the reference angle. All right, let's start out with number 1, 710 degrees. So we have to just remember the sign of the direction of rotation. If you're going down or counterclockwise is negative, and if you're going up if you're going down or clockwise is negative, if you're going up or counterclockwise is positive, all right? Since our angular measure is positive, we're going to be going up and around, all right? So let's see. We're starting from 0 degrees. Every quarter of a circle is 90 degrees. Okay, so quarter. First quarter is 90 degrees. That's still too small. Keep on going. 180. Keep on rotating. Another 90 is 270. Still too small. Keep on going. 360 degrees. All right. First rotation didn't generate an interval that contains 710, so we just keep on going. If we add another 90 to 360, let me just shift this a little bit. So add another 90 to 360, we have 450. And add 90 to 450, we have 540. Add 90 to that, we have 630. Still too small, add another 90, we have 720 degrees. So you can see that 710 is between 630 and 720. So our terminal side is going to reside somewhere here in this quadrant right here, okay? So let's indicate how many rotations we made to arrive at that angle. We made a first full rotation of 360, and then we continued again and ended up right there, okay? So there is an angle in standard position. This angle right here is 710 degrees, all right? That's 710 degrees. Now, what quadrant is it? It's going to be in quadrant 4. Okay? Remember how you name your quadrants? This is 1, this is 2, and this is quadrant 3. Starting from when you go counterclockwise, 3, and then this is quadrant IB, quadrant 4. Okay? Alright, let's go ahead and look for the reference angle. The reference angle is basically the angular measure to the closest x-axis. So if we look here, the angular measure from this terminal side to the closest x-axis is this right here. So the question is, what is this angular measure? This theta right here is our reference angle. All right. So how do we figure out what that is? We know that this is 630 and this is 710. If I can figure out what this angle here is, if I subtract it, oh wait a minute. This is 710, right? And I can just simply, to find this remaining angle, I can just simply subtract 720 from 710. So how many more degrees from 710 will take you to 720? Simply 10 more degrees, right? So your reference angle, this angle right here is the reference angle. That's 10 degrees. Okay, so remember your reference angle is the angular measure to the closest x-axis, okay? So in this case, reference angle, I got it by doing 720 minus 710, and the answer is 10 degrees for your reference angle, all right? And also note that your reference angle is always positive, okay? All right, let's take a look at number 2, negative 160. So we'll start from 0 degrees. Since it's negative, we're going to be going we're going to be going clockwise, all right? So going downwards. So quarter of a circle is negative 90. It's not contained here. Keep on going, negative 180. Good. So it's contained right here. Between 90 and 180 is 160 degrees, all right? So let's indicate the direction of rotation. We sort like this to take us to negative 160 degrees. So this is the terminal side that we're looking at, all right? So what quadrant is this? This is quadrant 3. Remember how you label it: 1, 2, 3, and that's 4. All right, and now what is the Reference angle is basically angular measure to the closest x-axis. This is the closest x-axis to this terminal side. So how many degrees is it from here to here? This is 160 and this is 180. So the difference will basically tell us what the reference angle is, alright? So reference angle is just simply 180 minus 160, which is 20 degrees. So your reference angle here is 20 degrees. Alright? Okay, now let's move on to question number 3. Question 3, we have negative 650 degrees. This is a negative angle. So we're going to be rotating clockwise or downwards. Alright, so starting from 0, we're going to be looking for negative 650. So 0, go down, we have 9. Sorry. Yes, that's right. I'll go down. Negative 90. Well, to save time, we can just, we know that the full circle is 360 degrees. So instead of labeling everything, since this is bigger, much bigger than 360, we can have a full rotation to negative 360. And if we rotate again, it's going to be negative 720. So let's see, negative 720. So let's just add 90 degrees and go around and see what happens here. Okay. So start from 360, add 90 degrees. If you remember, we have 540 negative, and then the next one is negative 540. Actually, this is 450. That's 540. The next one is negative 630, and that brings us all the way to negative 720. Now we can see that negative 650 resides somewhere in quadrant 1. Okay, like this. Alright. Okay, so let's see. It's closer to 630 than it is to 720. So let's indicate the spiral that generates where our angle is at. So we start from 0. We went around full circle to 360. That wasn't good enough, so we had to go again and ended up right here. Okay, so this terminal side right here is negative 650 degrees. Okay, so what's the quadrant? What's the quadrant that this terminal side lies in? It lies in the first quadrant, quadrant 1. Alright, so what is the reference angle? Reference angle, well, is the angular measure from the terminal side to the closest x-axis. So the closest x-axis is this positive x-axis right here. So what is this angular measure from here to here? That's your reference angle, okay? So this is a 650. How many more degrees do you need to take it all the way to 720 degrees? You go 50 to 700 and then 20 more to 720. So it's about 70 degrees, all right? So to show the math, to indicate how we got a reference angle, we just go 720 minus 650. Notice I didn't take the signs because the reference angle is absolute. We don't need the signs when calculating reference angle, okay? So if we subtract these two, we're going to have 70 degrees as a reference angle, okay? So reference angle is just how many degrees is this from the closest x-axis? It's going to be 70 degrees. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Question number 4. We have negative 240 degrees. So let's go ahead and label. Starting from 0, since this is negative, we're going to be going counterclockwise. We're going to be going clockwise or down again. Alright, so that's negative. So part of our circle, negative 90. Keep on going, negative 180. Negative 180 degrees. The whole thing. And then still keep on going because we don't have an interval that contains 240 yet. This is negative 270. Oh, there you go. So 240 is going to be somewhere between these two terminal sides. So, but we know it's somewhat it's much closer to 270 than it is to 180. So we draw it closer to 270. And let's indicate the spiral that takes us to 240. We started from 0 and then went down, just like that. Okay, so this side right here, this is simply negative 240 degrees. Okay? Alright, now what quadrant is this terminal side on? It's on the second quadrant, quadrant 2. Okay, remember the naming system, you start from quadrant 1, and then you go counterclockwise to 2, this is quadrant 2, and then it goes on and like that. Alright, let's find the reference angle. Remember what the reference angle is. The reference angle is simply the angular measure from the terminal side to the closest x-axis. So this is the closest x-axis here. How many degrees is it between here and here? So just ask yourself, if you're going from 180 to 240, how many degrees is it going to take for you to go from here to here? Alright? So all we just simply do is go 240 minus 180, which is basically 20 plus 40, which is 60 degrees. Remember, the reference angle is absolute. It does not have sign. Okay, it doesn't have any sign to it. It's always positive. So this is 60 degrees as a reference angle right there. Okay. All right. As with on the list, number 5, we have. Let me change this one. Okay, this is negative. We've been doing a whole bunch of negative problems. I'm going to change number 5. How about make number 5 positive 365 degrees? All right. So since this one is positive, starting from 0, we're going to be going in the counterclockwise direction. It's positive, going up and around. So starting from 0, we have 90. Keep on going. 90 plus another 90 is 180. 180 degrees. Keep on going to 70. Keep on going 360. That was close. One more, plus 90 is 450 degrees. So we can clearly see that the terminal side is going to be in between 450 and 360. 365 is much closer to 360, so it's going to be somewhere right there, okay? Alright, so let's indicate the area, the angular region that we swept to generate this terminal side. We started from 0, made a full circle, which was inadequate. We had to go a little bit more to get to the desired angle, which is 365. So this angle right here is 365 degrees. Okay. Now what is a quadrant? The quadrant you can see is on quadrant 1. Quadrant 1. And the reference angle. Reference angle, remember what the reference angle is again, is the angular measure from the angle to the closest x-axis. So if you take a look at this, how many degrees is it from 360 to 365 degrees? That's the angular measure right there. So all you simply do is subtract these two from each other, 365 minus 360, to give you the angular measure. And that is basically 5 degrees. Alright, so your reference angle right here, pretty small reference angle, is 5 degrees. Okay? Alright. Thanks so much for spending time to watch this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube page for future updates to cool math clips just like this. And you can also share this content with your friends on Facebook or Twitter. More videos can be found on math.self.com. Thanks again and have a wonderful day.